Invisible labor is a term that resonates deeply with me. It's the work we do that often goes unnoticed, the countless tasks that keep a household running, a family cared for, and a balanced life. It's the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, the scheduling, the constant mental list that we carry with us every day. As a mother, wife, and entrepreneur, I know what it feels like to give everything you have, only to wonder if anyone sees the effort you're putting in. The toll of invisible labor is real, and it's one that affects us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. There have been times when I felt exhausted, when the weight of responsibility has felt overwhelming, and when I've questioned whether I had the strength to keep going. In this chapter, I want to share the realities of invisible labor, the impact it has had on my life, and the ways I've learned to cope and thrive despite its demands. My hope is that you'll find validation, encouragement, and practical advice for embracing the journey, even when it feels unseen. Invisible labor is more than just the physical tasks we complete each day. It's the mental load we carry, the constant planning, organizing, and remembering that goes into caring for a family and managing a household. It's the emotional labor of being there for others, of nurturing, supporting, and holding space for their needs, often at the expense of our own. For me, invisible labor has been a constant companion. From the early days of motherhood through my journey of going back to school, and now as I homeschool my children and pursue my entrepreneurial dreams, the list of tasks and responsibilities never seems to end. There are times when the weight of it all feels overwhelming, when I wonder if I'm doing enough or if I'm stretching myself too thin. The hardest part of invisible labor is that it often goes unacknowledged. Unlike a job with a paycheck or a visible achievement, invisible labor is the work that happens behind the scenes. It's the effort that makes life function smoothly, but is rarely celebrated. This lack of recognition can leave us feeling undervalued, questioning whether our contributions truly matter. Yet, I've come to realize that invisible labor, though unseen, is deeply meaningful. It's the foundation upon which my family's well-being rests, and it's a reflection of my love, commitment, and resilience. The demands of invisible labor can take a toll on our physical health. There have been times when I felt utterly drained, when the endless list of tasks has left me running on empty. The late nights, the early mornings, the days filled with constant movement, they all add up, leaving little room for rest or self-care. I've experienced fatigue, stress, and even physical discomfort, knowing that my body was asking for a break, but feeling like I couldn't afford to slow down. Invisible labor often requires us to push through, to keep going even when we're tired. I found myself staying up late to finish laundry or waking up early to prepare lessons, always putting others' needs before my own. Over time, I've learned that while it's important to care for my family, it's equally important to care for myself. Our bodies can only give so much, and if we don't prioritize rest and self-care, we risk burning out. Beyond the physical demands, invisible labor has an emotional toll. It's the feeling of being constantly on, of carrying the weight of responsibility without a break. It's the stress of managing schedules, making decisions, and anticipating needs, all while trying to keep a sense of balance. There have been moments when I felt overwhelmed by the emotional load, questioning whether I was doing enough or if I was letting my family down. Invisible labor also brings with it a sense of isolation. Because it often goes unrecognized, it's easy to feel like no one truly understands the extent of what you're doing. I've had moments when I felt invisible, wondering if my efforts were seen or appreciated. This feeling can lead to frustration, resentment, and a sense of being taken for granted. Yet, through these emotions, I've learned that my worth is not defined by recognition. The work I do, though unseen, is valuable. It's an expression of my love and dedication, and it's a reflection of my commitment to my family. I've learned to find purpose in the work itself, to see the beauty in the small acts of service, and to remind myself that every effort, no matter how unseen, has meaning. Over time, I've developed strategies that have helped me cope with the demands of invisible labor. These practices have allowed me to find balance, protect my well-being, and embrace the journey with resilience and grace. 1 of the most important lessons I've learned is the value of self-care. It's easy to neglect our own needs when we're focused on caring for others. But self-care is essential for sustaining our energy and well-being. I make it a point to carve out small moments for myself each day, whether it's a few minutes of quiet time or a quick prayer. These moments allow me to recharge and remind me that I deserve care just as much as those I serve. 2, I've learned that I don't have to do everything on my own. By setting boundaries and delegating tasks, I've been able to share the load and create a more balanced routine. I involve my children in household chores, teaching them responsibility and the value of teamwork. My husband and I communicate openly about the division of tasks, ensuring that we're both contributing to the well-being of our family. This has allowed me to focus on the things that matter most, while also lightening my load. 3, invisible labor often comes with the pressure to be perfect, to have everything in order and under control. But I've learned that perfection is neither realistic nor necessary. I've embraced flexibility, allowing myself to adjust and adapt as needed. Some days, the house may not be spotless, and that's okay. By letting go of perfection, I found a sense of freedom and peace, knowing that my best is enough. 4, because invisible labor often goes unrecognized. It's important to take time to acknowledge and celebrate your own efforts. I remind myself of the work I've done, of the ways I've shown up for my family, and of the love that motivates my actions. I celebrate small victories, whether it's a completed task, a successful day of homeschooling, or a quiet moment of reflection. By recognizing my own efforts, I've learned to find value in the journey, even when it feels unseen. 5, my faith has been a constant source of strength, helping me find meaning in the work I do. I turn to prayer, asking God for guidance, patience, and resilience. I remind myself that He sees every effort, even the ones that go unnoticed. My favorite verse, Psalms 3 verse 3, reminds me that God is my shield, the one who lifts me up when I feel weary. By leaning on Him, I find the strength to keep going, knowing that my efforts are valuable in His eyes. Through the journey of invisible labor, I've come to see that true purpose is not found in recognition, but in the quiet acts of service we offer each day. Each task, no matter how small, contributes to the well-being of my family. I've learned to find joy in the work itself, to see it as an expression of my love, and to trust that it has meaning, even when it goes unseen. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the demands of invisible labor, know that you are not alone. Your efforts are valuable, your work is meaningful, and your contributions matter deeply. You may not always receive recognition, but the impact of your love and dedication is felt in the lives of those you care for. Embrace the journey and remember that you are stronger and more resilient than you realize. Invisible labor may go unseen, but its impact is profound. It shapes the lives of those we love, it reflects our commitment, and it reveals our strength. I hope that by sharing my journey, you'll feel encouraged to embrace your own invisible labor with grace, knowing that your efforts are valuable and that you are making a difference. Spiritual reflection. Remember that God values the unseen work you do and that He delights in the love and dedication you bring to each task. Reflect on Colossians 3:23-24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Trust that your efforts are meaningful and that God sees and honors the work you do. Think about a time when you felt the weight of invisible labor. What did you learn from the experience, and how did you find strength to keep going? Write about the ways you can embrace invisible labor with grace and reflect on the impact your efforts have on those you love. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to Chapter 9 of Invisible Strength, Embracing Faith, Family, and Invisible Labor. Your support means the world to me, and I hope this chapter resonated with you and gave you some encouragement as you navigate your own journey with invisible labor. If you enjoyed what you heard and would like to read more, you can grab your own copy of Invisible Strength on Amazon by clicking the link in the description below. Whether you're a mother, wife, entrepreneur, or simply someone who's felt the weight of invisible labor, I believe this book has something for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on future readings, reflections, and insights from the book. And please, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts and connect with you. Thank you again for your time and support. Remember, you are stronger and more resilient than you realize, and your unseen efforts are making a bigger difference than you know. Stay blessed, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.